Hello, I'm Bhavani Thuraisingam from the University of Texas at Dallas, and I'm recording this video presentation, um, and it's going to be presented at the IEEE Big Data Security Conference, and that's going to be on Friday, May 10th, 2024. And my co-authors are Professor Kim Nimon from University of Texas at Tyler and Professor Latifa Khan, also from University of Texas at Dallas. So let's see. So this video is being, as I said, it's being recorded. And I'm now going to share my screen. Okay, so my screen is being shared. Yes, and so I'm going to open my presentation, which is IEEE. Right, so this paper is titled An Education Program for Big Data Security and Privacy. So it's going to be a short presentation. And as I said, we've done a lot of research on big data security and privacy with funding from National Science Foundation. And we've also put together an excellent education program. And so we have several courses, but this is our flagship course, and it's on big data security and privacy. I taught this in 2010 fall, 2021 fall, and 2022 fall is when a lot of the the surveys and so on was done. I also taught this class 2023 fall. Okay, so so large amounts of data being collected. So anyway, I got this presentation from our paper. Okay, stored, managed, analyzed, and shared for a variety of applications. It could be zettabytes and even exabytes. The data could include heterogeneous data types, text, image, audio, video. In addition, we need techniques to retrieve this data rapidly, right? Such large amounts of data is known as big data. Remember, big data has got the 5 V's, and that's volume, velocity, variety. Those were the first 3 V's, and then they added also veracity and value. Okay, so the management and analytics of such data is big data management and analytics. While large amounts of data are critical for a variety of applications, there are also some major concerns. These include data privacy, where it is now possible to collect massive amounts of data and analyze the data that could violate the privacy of individuals, and the big data analytics techniques could also be attacked. So our presentation is going to describe our education program that we have developed. So it's a collaboration between computer scientists, Dr. Khan and myself, and education researchers, and that's Dr. Kim Nimon. She's one of the top experts in human resources management as well as education research. So our framework, everything is based on this framework, our course, right? So we have infrastructure for big data, and that's usually our infrastructure is based on cloud. We could choose Hadoop MapReduce, or we can use Storm or Spark. So we, at least when I teach, I use Hadoop MapReduce. Then we have the big data management, like big data database systems like HBase and Hive. Then we have the analytics. You can call it machine learning or data mining or analytics, deep learning, decision trees, support vector machine, and so on, and number of applications, right? We can have technology applications like IoT, social media, and cybersecurity. We can also have, other types of applications, such as healthcare, finance, and so on. Of course, right? All of the layers, right? Something in common. So security, privacy, integrity, availability, fairness, unbiased processing, anti-discrimination, all dependability, real-time processing, integrity, provenance, all of that cuts across all these layers. Okay, so layer 1, as I said, infrastructure. We focus on secure cloud. So we offer modules that include comprehensive overview of the cloud, including access controls, visualization, and so on. We also discuss attacks to the cloud as well as cloud governance. We expect that in the future, the layer could be replaced by quantum, right? Quantum computing could provide the infrastructure. The next layer is the next layer is big data layer, and here we teach the foundations such as securing the Hadoop, access control for big data, and MapReduce, Hadoop and MapReduce. We also discuss access control at this layer, illustrate attacks to the big data, and then we also discuss big data governance. In addition, techniques for secure query processing, information sharing in the secure cloud are discussed. Now, layer 3 is a trustworthy machine learning layer, or you can call it analytics or data mining. So this layer, we talk about various aspects such as security, privacy, fairness of the machine learning algorithms. The next layer is the application. So we can have domain applications like healthcare, finance, or technology applications such as social media and IoT. We discuss how social media systems could be analyzed and secured. We also discuss how IoT systems can be secured. In addition, we discuss governance in systems such as social media and IoT. In the future, we are planning to include applications such as secure transportation systems. We have a big project now on secure transportation systems funded by US DOT. Of course, as I said, security, privacy, fairness, dependability, and so on cut across all the layers. Okay, so what is our curriculum? Our approach, we receive funding from NSF, right, to enhance our education program in this area. While our main focus was on security and privacy for big data and machine learning, we also include aspects such as fairness and governance. We used 2 reference books for the course. We wrote them, right? Big Data Analytics with Applications in Insider Threat with my colleagues, published in January, I believe, 2018. And then another book, Secure Data Science, Integrating Cybersecurity and Data Science, that was published in April 2022. And the first book also influenced the proposal that we wrote. The second book was influenced by some of the material we used in the course. And we are preparing a third book based on trustworthy machine learning based on figure 1. Okay, so what's the coursework? We had 2 term papers, 10 points each, survey and doc critiquing papers, team programming project, quite a bit, 26 points, 2 exams, exam 1, exam 2, 26 points. And I also got the team, the project teams to work on papers and present papers, right? Existing papers to review and present them, so that's 2 points. And total is 100 points. Students give team presentations on the programming project related to big data security the last day of class, as well as give demonstration of the system developed. Students also present a paper on big data security and privacy as a team. Course content, so that's the last one is 2 points. Course content lectures, note that lecture may span multiple dates or multiple lectures are taught during a lecture period. So it all depends. Lectures are grouped into modules, and the course consists of the following 7 modules. Module 1, background, right? We need background on cybersecurity. We need background on big data. Module 2, introduction to big data security and privacy, focusing on an overview of the topics as well as general overview of special big data systems. Module 3 is our infrastructure. So here we discuss secure cloud, in particular security for Hadoop MapReduce. Module 4, big data security and privacy, right? This is like the crux of the whole course: access control, secure query processing, secure storage, and so on. Module 5 is the analytics, trustworthy machine learning. It consists of lectures that cover secure machine learning, privacy-aware machine learning, fairness in machine learning. Module 6, applications. We look at 2 types of applications: social media and IoT, right? Secure applications. Module 7, emerging topics like knowledge graphs for security. We're also going to introduce in the future. Next time I teach, I will also introduce topics like generative AI and so on. Integrating blockchain with big data. We just finished teaching a course on blockchain this spring semester at the undergraduate level. So we'll also bring this in. Eventually, I would like to also bring in a bit of quantum, because whether we like it or not, I strongly believe that quantum is going to be here soon. Okay, sorry, it's actually, oh gosh, I've got Right. It's actually, right, it's gone a little bit down here, but I'll try and do the best I can. Please excuse this mess here, okay? Students will be able to understand the three-layer architecture for big data security, privacy, infrastructure, big data management, and application. So these are the learning outcomes. Students will be able to develop, access control models of big data, understand several types of attacks, and develop solutions such as machine learning to address these attacks. Students will be able to develop techniques for secure and private big data, including risk-based, secure and private data storage, and secure big data processing. Students will be able to understand interdisciplinary topics such as big data governance, and that also discusses a framework. Students will understand the security issues of various commercial big data systems like HBase. Students will learn to host social media applications on secure big data. Students will be able to understand social and psychological theories. That's something that I've got to say that we haven't really focused a lot on that aspect, okay, yet. So these are some of the things that students are learning outcomes. The course evaluation. So again, we taught in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. 2021 and 23, the usual course evaluation that students provide. But 2022, we got IRB approval, right? That's Internal Review Board. And we had a more extensive survey, question answering. In fall 22, third time, we sought to determine if as a consequence of completing the course, students' self-beliefs improved. So that's what Dr. Nimon was conducting. Consistent with prior literature, we assessed students' computing self-efficacy, grit, and STEM identity. Students were emailed a link to an electronic survey. So I had to be at arm's length. So I had nothing to do with it because I was a teacher. As we were concluding the course, the survey incorporated a post-then design. Okay, so Dr. Nimon's paper, which we have cited in our paper, consistent with the post-then design, we asked participants the same set of questions twice. First, they assessed themselves as the course was concluding post, and second, they assessed themselves retrospectively before the course started, right then. This design was especially helpful as IRB approval was not received until after the course started, thereby not allowing a traditional pre-test, post-test design, because we got the IRB approval once we were well into the course. So we had to be very careful here. The design is also helpful as participants rate themselves with the same set of knowledge, skills, and attitudes, and avoids response shift bias that can occur with traditional pre-test, post-test designs. So, course evaluation, continuing, we assess the computing self-identity with a 2-item measure from Kreth et al., which has been used in evaluating students in computer science courses. A sample item for computing self-identity scale is I'm comfortable with learning computing concepts. The computing self-identity scale was measured with a 5-point Likert scale. Strongly disagree to strongly agree. We assess grit and with Duckworth and Quinn's paper, short grit scale. The scale is organized around 2 constructs, each containing 4 items. A sample item for the consistency of interest scale is I often get a set a goal, but later choose to pursue a different one. A sample item for the perseverance of effort scale is I finish whatever I begin. The grit scales were measured with a 5-point Likert scale with anchor points of not at all like me, very much like me. Oh, this again, I'm sorry, it's all overflowing. Okay. Course evaluation, the design is also helpful as participants rate themselves with the same set of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Oh, by the way, I finished it in the earlier chart, right? Okay, this is done earlier. Okay, so we used a single item measuring for assessing STEM, right? Identity following the work of McDonald. As in McDonald et al., we created an identity overlap measure where students were instructed to select the picture that best described the current overlap of the image they have of themselves and their image of what a big data and cybersecurity professional was. Identity was measured with 11-point scale ranging from 0 to 10. 14 students completed the survey in its entirety. I mean, we had about 80 students, so it was a bit disappointing. Still, 14 is better than nothing. 9 respondents, 64%, identified as being a computer science major, and 1 as a software engineering. All respondents identified as full-time students. Majority responded identified as male, 64%. Gen Z, 64%. Gen Z, I think, was what? Gen Z. They were born 2000 and beyond. And international, 79%. As identified in table 1, students who completed the course in fall 22 improved on self-efficacy and self-identity, but not on either measure of grit. So this is the table the paper explains, and this is Dr. Nimon's work. Okay, so I'm not an education researcher, but I'm learning. Okay, I'm a computer scientist. So consistency of interest. So A is measure of grit, B is reverse coded, N equals 14 students. Persistence, perseverance of effort, right? So it's only measure of grit, self-efficacy, self-identity. And these are the various standard deviation, mean 3.75, standard deviation. So we took these various numbers and then we calculated T, P or O, and D. Okay, so the paper actually explains what this table is about. Okay, so in addition to educating our students at UT Dallas, we've also educated a global workforce in this area. Specifically, we teach a 40-hour class at the University of Dajang in Cameroon, Africa, virtually, in trustworthy machine learning. So we taught it in 2021. We teach again in 2024, in November. In addition, we have also given keynote featured addresses. We discusses women in communication engineering, women in data science, and women in cybersecurity, and so on. So we are now part of this $20 million University Technology Center by USDOT, led by Clemson University, and we'll be delivering courses on trustworthy AI, big data, and transportation security in the future. Finally, we will also continue to develop curriculum that integrates cybersecurity and privacy with data science, machine learning, AI. We are already doing AI, and we've also done blockchain, right? And we are going to do some, hopefully, new things in transportation systems. Okay, so now the last slide. The paper has provided the details of a curriculum development effort in big data, security, and privacy. We provided an overview of our framework that guided the course development. Next, we provided details of our curriculum. This was followed by a discussion of the learning outcomes and the course evaluation. Finally, we discussed our outreach efforts. We believe that the development of this course is a success story, a collaboration between computer scientists and education researchers. We will continue to follow this approach. So we are going to do next, write a paper on blockchain and then AI and security. For example, in spring 2024, we are teaching courses on blockchain at the undergraduate level, as well as a PhD level course on large language models. That's also including a unit in security, cybersecurity units. We will also continue to educate the global community, female students, and so on, especially on trustworthy machine learning, our course, 40-hour course in Cameroon, Africa. This is all done pro bono, right? We don't get paid for it. So it's a volunteer work. In addition, and so when I say Cameroon, Africa, I teach virtually, because these days, thanks to Zoom and everything, I don't have to travel to Africa, so I can stay, at home. I start the class at 10 o'clock in the morning and finish at 2 o'clock, and we do 2:30. We do it for 10 days, so total 40 hours. In addition, a major focus area will be a course on AI and security, also called Trustworthy AI. That includes contents of our big data, security and privacy, trustworthy machine learning, and in the future, large language models and security. Okay, so this finishes. I'm going to stop sharing. So unfortunately, we are not going to be, this is going to be recorded and so submitted. And so you can, listen to this presentation. And, I'm really, hoping that you will benefit. And if you have any questions, you can email me. Sorry, I didn't put my email. It's my first name dot last name. So bhavani.thuraisingam@utdallas.edu. And again, thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. And so I'm going to stop the recording